Every decision shapes your destiny. Life is not a random sequence of events. It is a reflection of the choices you make every single day. Each moment you are faced with a fork in the road, and the path you choose determines the quality of your future. Most people underestimate the power of a single choice. They think it's just one extra hour of sleep, just one more unhealthy meal, just one missed opportunity to read or learn. But over time, those just ones accumulate, and together they either build a life of discipline, growth, and fulfillment, or a life of regret, limitation, and wasted potential. Think of your life as a book being written line by line. Every decision is a sentence, every habit is a paragraph, and every year is a chapter. What you end up with at the end of your life is not a book someone else wrote for you. It is a book you authored with the permanent ink of your daily choices. You cannot erase what has already been written, but you can decide what the next page will look like. That power rests entirely in your hands. When you understand that every decision shapes your destiny, you begin to see life differently. You stop living casually. You stop treating time as though it were endless. You start to feel the urgency of the moment. Suddenly, staying up late to binge on distractions doesn't feel harmless because you know it steals energy from tomorrow's work. Suddenly, skipping a workout isn't just skipping a workout, it's planting a seed of weakness in your body and your mind. Suddenly, choosing not to invest in yourself today means robbing your future self of strength, wisdom, and opportunity. The good news is this: just as bad choices compound, good ones do too. The choice to wake up early, to read, to save money, to listen instead of argue, to practice patience, to keep a promise, each of these decisions compounds into a destiny of abundance and respect. No single decision may seem life-changing on its own, but together they become the architecture of your future. Every successful person you admire did not arrive at success through one giant leap. They arrived because of thousands of small, consistent decisions made over years. It's also important to remember that decisions shape not only what you get, but also who you become. Every decision is a vote for the type of person you are becoming. When you decide to push through discomfort, you're voting for resilience. When you decide to spend time with positive influences, you're voting for growth. When you decide to act with integrity, you're voting for character. And when you repeatedly vote in the same direction, you become that kind of person. That is how destinies are built, not overnight, but choice by choice, day by day. Some people wait for big opportunities thinking their destiny will be determined in a single dramatic moment. But more often, destiny is built in the quiet moments when no one is watching. It's built in the moment you decide to open the book instead of scrolling your phone. It's built in the moment you decide to take responsibility instead of placing blame. It's built in the moment you decide to get back up after a failure instead of staying down. Greatness is never an accident. It is the harvest of intentional decisions sown faithfully over time. And yes, mistakes will be made. Wrong choices will be written into the story of your life. But that does not mean your future is ruined. It only means that you must make a new decision today, one that redirects the course of tomorrow. The past may be permanent, but the future is still unwritten. That is why every decision matters, especially the one you are about to make next. So, take a moment and reflect. What story are you writing with your choices? Are your daily decisions leading you toward the life you desire, or away from it? Are you voting for growth, discipline, and vision, or for comfort, distraction, and regret? The answer lies not in your intentions, but in your actions. Remember, every decision shapes your destiny. Every yes and every no is a line of ink in the book of your life. Choose wisely. Choose with clarity. Choose with courage, because the story you are writing today will become the life you are living tomorrow. Every great success story, every remarkable transformation begins not with one giant leap, but with a series of small, consistent choices. It's easy to believe that our lives are shaped by rare, life-altering moments, but the truth is far more subtle and far more powerful. Your future is not determined by the one big decision you make once in a while. It is crafted in the quiet, almost invisible choices you make day after day. Small choices compound over time, creating either the life you desire or the one you wish you had avoided. Small choices compound over time, but they require faith. Faith that today's effort matters, even if you can't see immediate results. Faith that what feels insignificant now is building something substantial for the future. The challenge is to trust the process, to commit to discipline, and to remember that consistency, not intensity, is what creates lasting transformation. So the question becomes, what are you compounding? Are you compounding wisdom or ignorance, health or sickness, wealth or debt, love or distance? Every decision you make is an investment that multiplies over time. The harvest you reap tomorrow is determined by the seeds you plant today. The beauty of this truth is that no matter where you are right now, you can start fresh. You may have made poor choices in the past, but you can choose differently today. You can begin planting new seeds, and with time, those new choices will compound just as powerfully. The results may not appear immediately, but if you stay committed, the future will reveal the harvest of your daily discipline. Never underestimate the power of small, consistent decisions. They are the quiet architects of destiny. With each choice, you are writing your story, not in bold strokes, but in steady lines that build upon one another. And when the years pass, you'll look back and realize that greatness was never about one big decision. It was about the accumulation of small ones, compounded over time. There is no eraser in life. Every decision you make leaves a mark, every action creates a consequence, and every choice shapes the direction of your future. Some people like to believe that life can be rewound, that mistakes can be undone, that opportunities lost can somehow be regained in their original form. But reality teaches us differently. While you can always begin again, you can never erase what has already been written. Life records permanently. The past remains as it was, and the story continues forward. When you understand this truth, it changes the way you view today. Suddenly, your choices no longer seem small or casual. They matter. They carry weight. That phone call you didn't return, the apology you decided not to make, the effort you skipped, or the discipline you avoided, all of these things don't disappear. They accumulate. They are written in the permanent ink of your life story. And so are the good decisions. The moment you chose to show up early, the day you decided to invest in learning, the evening you pushed through resistance instead of giving in. Those choices are also etched into your future, creating dividends you will one day reap. The problem is that too many people live as if there will always be an eraser. They waste years waiting for a second chance at youth, health, time, or relationships. But when those chapters are gone, they are gone. You cannot relive your 20s, you cannot unspend wasted years, and you cannot undo the words once spoken. This is not meant to discourage you, but to awaken you. Because once you understand that life is permanent, you begin to take responsibility at a higher level. You stop drifting. You stop playing casually with your own future. You stop gambling with your destiny. Think of it this way, life is like building a house brick by brick. Every decision is a brick. Some bricks are strong and well placed, creating stability and beauty. Others are weak or misaligned. And while you may still build, the structure won't hold under pressure. And once the brick is laid, you cannot remove it without leaving a mark. You can build differently going forward, but you cannot undo the past. That house will always bear the evidence of what was built earlier. This is why it's so vital to decide carefully, to act with intention, to recognize that the future is not built by dreams alone, but by disciplined daily decisions. Now here's the good news: even though there is no eraser, there is redemption. You may not be able to erase yesterday's mistakes, but you can begin writing new chapters today that overshadow the old ones. You may not be able to erase regret, but you can choose growth that turns pain into wisdom. You may not be able to erase a failure, but you can decide to learn from it so deeply that it becomes the very foundation of your success. Life does not give us erasers, but it does give us pens with endless ink. The opportunity to keep writing, to keep creating, to keep moving forward. This perspective should not fill you with fear, but with urgency. Every day is a fresh page, but once the page is written, it stays. Ask yourself daily, what am I writing today that will matter tomorrow? Will this decision move me closer to the future I desire, or will it take me farther away? Will it strengthen my character or weaken it? Will it open doors or close them? With every choice, you are authoring a story that your future self will have to live in. So live with clarity. Decide with conviction. Act with responsibility. Don't assume there will always be a way to erase poor decisions. There won't be. There will only be a chance to rise above them by making better ones today. If you live like there is no eraser in life, you will treat each day as precious, each choice as meaningful, and each opportunity as sacred. And in doing so, you will write a story that you'll be proud to live in, not one you'll spend the rest of your life wishing you could erase. Remember, the pen is in your hands, the ink is permanent, and the page before you is waiting. Write wisely. Discipline is one of the most underestimated forces in life, yet it is the single trait that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Many people believe that opportunity is about luck, timing, or being in the right place at the right moment. But the truth is, opportunity is rarely found by chance. It is created by preparation, by consistent effort, and by the disciplined actions you choose to take every day. Discipline is doing what you know you should do, even when you don't feel like doing it. It is waking up early when your body craves more sleep, studying when your mind wants entertainment, saving money when you'd rather spend, and saying no to distractions when everyone else is indulging. These little acts of self-control are not punishments, they are investments. And every investment of discipline eventually pays dividends in the form of opportunities that others only dream about. Imagine two people given the same resources and the same amount of time. One chooses to live by discipline, while the other lives by impulse. The disciplined individual exercises daily, improves their skills, builds relationships, and takes care of their responsibilities. The impulsive one seeks comfort, avoids hard work, and postpones important tasks. Fast forward a few years, one has opened doors to health, career advancement, trust, and freedom, while the other is left with regret and missed chances. The difference wasn't talent. It wasn't luck. It was discipline. What discipline really does is prepare you for moments that others are unprepared for. Opportunities don't announce themselves ahead of time. They often come suddenly without warning. And when they arrive, only those who have lived with discipline are ready to seize them. The athlete who has trained relentlessly is ready when the big game comes. The entrepreneur who has studied and worked late into the night is ready when the market shifts. The leader who has built character and integrity is ready when responsibility calls. Discipline is not glamorous. It is quiet, often unseen, and sometimes painful. But it is in those unseen hours that you are laying the foundation for greatness. No one applauds you for reading when you could be scrolling, for training when you could be sleeping, or for working when you could be partying. But years later, those same people who mocked or ignored your discipline will call your results lucky. It was never luck. It was the compound effect of discipline creating opportunities others could not see. Some people fear discipline because they think it limits freedom. In reality, it is the opposite. A lack of discipline may feel free in the moment, but it leads to bondage to debt, to poor health, to broken relationships, to unfulfilled potential. Discipline, on the other hand, grants freedom. The disciplined saver has financial independence. The disciplined worker has career options. The disciplined learner has wisdom to choose from. Discipline doesn't restrict your life, it expands it. Consider your own life. Where you are today is largely the result of yesterday's disciplines or lack thereof. If you're enjoying the fruits of success, it's because of the choices you made in the past to stay consistent, to stay focused, and to sacrifice short-term comfort for long-term gain. If you're dissatisfied, it is not a sign of failure, but a reminder that new discipline can create new opportunities ahead. The past is permanent ink, but the future is still unwritten, and discipline holds the pen. The beautiful truth is that anyone can choose discipline. It doesn't require genius. It doesn't require privilege. It doesn't even require perfection. It only requires that you decide day after day to keep choosing actions that align with your vision instead of your feelings. Feelings are fleeting. Discipline endures. Feelings want comfort now. Discipline secures success later. Every moment you practice discipline, you are quietly constructing the stage on which your greatest opportunities will appear. So don't wait for life to hand you a break. Don't sit around hoping someone will open a door for you. Build the habits, do the work, sharpen your skills, strengthen your character. Because when opportunity finally knocks, and it always does, it won't wait for you to get ready. Discipline ensures you already are. Discipline creates opportunity. It is the bridge from where you are to where you want to be. It is the silent architect of success, the force that turns ordinary lives into extraordinary legacies. And the good news is, the choice to embrace discipline is yours. Starting today, the future is not something that arrives fully formed, ready-made, or suddenly placed in your hands. It is built patiently and deliberately, one step at a time. Every great achievement, every dream fulfilled, and every life transformed comes down to this simple truth. Progress is constructed through daily choices, small actions, and consistent effort. We often look at people who have achieved success and think they must have had some kind of secret formula, some hidden advantage that set them apart. But the reality is that most of them simply learned the discipline of taking the next right step. They didn't leap from the bottom to the top in a single bound. They climbed step by step, refusing to quit when the climb was slow or the obstacles appeared overwhelming. Think about building a house. No one lays a foundation in the morning and expects to have the roof completed by evening. It's a process. Brick by brick, beam by beam, it rises. So it is with your life. The person you are becoming is being built today through the choices you are making. Each decision is a brick in the structure of your future. Skip enough bricks and the walls collapse. But remain steady, and the house becomes strong enough to withstand the storms. The temptation we all face is wanting everything instantly. We live in a world of speed, fast food, fast internet, fast success stories. But lasting success does not come instantly. Anything worth building takes time. A tree takes years to grow roots deep enough to stand tall. A champion spends years training before the victory is celebrated. And your future will take years of steps to become something meaningful. Don't be discouraged by that truth. Be empowered by it. Because if the future is built one step at a time, then you don't need to have all the answers today. You simply need to choose the right step right now. Another important reality is that every step counts. Some days you'll take big steps, leaps of courage, moments of bold action, decisions that change your trajectory. But most days will be small steps, reading a chapter of a book, practicing your skills, saving a little money, exercising even when you don't feel like it. Never underestimate the power of these small steps. Just as drops of water can carve valleys over time, so can small, steady actions carve out the life you dream of. You must also remember that not all steps will be forward. There will be setbacks, mistakes, and detours. That is part of the process. What matters is not perfection, but persistence. A stumble doesn't mean the journey is over. One wrong turn doesn't mean you've lost the destination. As long as you get back up, as long as you keep moving, the future is still being written. The only way to fail permanently is to stop walking. The beauty of building your future step by step is that it gives you control. You don't have to compare yourself to someone else's pace. You don't have to be discouraged by how far away the finish line seems. You only need to ask, what step can I take today that moves me closer to where I want to be? Success is not a giant leap. It is 1,000 consistent steps, each one guided by vision, discipline, and faith. So stop waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, or the perfect conditions. Start today, right where you are. Take one step in the direction of your goals. Tomorrow, take another, then another. Over weeks, months, and years, those steps will add up. One day, you'll look back and realize that the future you dreamed about was built not by one big decision, but by the steady courage to keep moving forward, one step at a time. That is how the future is created. Not by chance, not by luck, but by you. One step after another. Keep walking, keep choosing, keep building. Your future is waiting for the steps you take today. You hold the pen. That single truth is both liberating and sobering. Too often we go through life thinking circumstances, other people, or luck determine our future. We point to our upbringing, our environment, or the hand we were dealt, and we convince ourselves that these external forces are holding the pen, writing the script of our lives. But the reality is different. Each day through the choices we make, we hold the pen. We decide what kind of story gets written. Every choice carries weight. The decision to rise early and work on your goals, or the decision to hit the snooze button. Both tell the world something about who you are becoming. The decision to save a little money or spend recklessly is ink on the page that shapes your financial destiny. The decision to feed your mind with learning or distract it with noise determines whether you'll be prepared when opportunity arrives. You may not see the impact immediately, but the pen is always in motion, and the marks you leave cannot be erased. Life has no backspace button. You cannot rewrite yesterday's chapters, no matter how much you wish you could. The words have already been written in permanent ink. But that doesn't mean your story is finished. The beauty of holding the pen is that the next page is always blank. You can make different choices today that alter the trajectory of tomorrow. Your past decisions may have built walls, but your present decisions can create doors. Think of your life as a book in progress. Each decision you make is a sentence, a paragraph, sometimes even a whole chapter. Some of those chapters may be full of mistakes, regrets, or pain. But if you are intentional, the next chapters can be filled with redemption, growth, and achievement. The pen doesn't leave your hand until your last breath, which means you always have the power to add new meaning to your story. Many people live passively, as though someone else is writing their script. They let emotions, moods, or circumstances dictate their choices. But that is like letting the wind control your pen. You end up with a story that is messy, disconnected, and unsatisfying. The people who craft extraordinary lives are those who take ownership of the pen. They write with clarity, with vision, and with discipline. They understand that success is not a single grand decision, but the accumulation of thousands of daily ones. When you realize you hold the pen, excuses lose their power. You can no longer blame your boss, your parents, or the government for what's written on your page. Responsibility shifts fully into your hands. That may feel heavy at first, but it is also empowering. It means you are not trapped. You are not doomed to repeat the same cycles. At any moment, you can write a new sentence, choose a new direction, and create a new story. Imagine if every decision you made carried the awareness of permanence. You would think twice before choosing laziness over effort, distraction over focus, or resentment over forgiveness. You would weigh your choices not just by how they feel in the moment, but by how they echo through the future. That awareness would sharpen your vision and elevate your standards. The person who understands the weight of the pen no longer treats choices casually. The truth is, no one else can live your life for you. No one else can decide your attitude, your discipline, or your integrity. You are the author, and the ink never runs out. Every morning when you wake up, a new page awaits. You can write strength, or you can write weakness. You can write gratitude, or you can write bitterness. You can write courage, or you can write fear. The decision is yours and yours alone. So the challenge is simple. Stop waiting for someone else to give you permission to create the life you want. Stop pretending that the pen is out of your hands. Recognize the incredible responsibility and opportunity you carry. Today is a page. Tomorrow is a page. And soon those pages will become your legacy. Hold the pen firmly. Write with purpose. And never forget, the future is not given, it is written. And you are the one writing it.